Paul Stirling and Owen Morgan both struck hundreds as Middlesex ended their Royal London One Day Cup campaign with a 33-run victory over Gloucestershire in Bristol. Put in under blue skies, the visitors lost the returning skipper David Milan in the 5th over, snared by his old teammate Ryan Higgins for 10. And when Chris Little got one through Nick Gubbins on 11, Middlesex were on 48 for 2 after 13 overs. But Morgan, getting ready for the touring Australians, was soon putting bat to ball in lovely batting conditions. He went to his 50 with his first maximum, and he had taken only 39 deliveries to get there. Stirling was watchful by his standards, but opened up with this 6 on his way to a 66-ball half-century. These two brought up their 100 partnership, and by the time we reached the end of 30 overs, Middlesex was sitting pretty on 154 for 2. But the real fun was about to start. Morgan cut loose with 3 towering 6s in the same Graham Van Buren over. Seemingly without breaking sweat, the Irishman was cruising towards the century. And that he reached off only his 69th delivery, as he and Stirling added 158 runs together in just 23 overs with some fantastic batting. Alas, the fun ended for the magnificent Morgan before he could add another run, held by a skyer off Benny Howell in the 37th over. Stirling continued on his merry way. By the end of the innings, he'd made 515 runs in this competition at an average of 74. For once, it was from the other end where the most entertainment was produced, though. Hilton Cartwright simply picking up where Morgan had left off with some sublime stroke play which brought him 3 6s early on in his innings. Then in the 45th over, Stirling hit Little to the boundary to reach 3 figures for the 3rd time in this tournament this summer. This one had occupied 128 balls. The end of the innings was nothing short of phenomenal, with 34 runs coming off the last 2 overs. Stirling smashed Little for 4 successive 4s in the penultimate one to end unbeaten on 127, a List A best for him, while Cartwright sent the first 2 deliveries of the last over the rope to finish on 60 made from 41 balls, Middlesex ending on 322 for 3. Gloucestershire had to get off to a flyer in reply, and Chris Dent and George Hankins started with a stand of 43 in the first 6 overs. But on came James Franklin, and he needed no help to get rid of Hankins for 26 with his very first ball. He then had Howell held by Tom Helm on 10. And when James Harris saw Dent caught by Stirling for 23, Gloucestershire had slipped to 60 for 3. That became 72 for 4 after 13 overs once Gareth Roderick was run out following a shambolic mix-up with Ian Cobain over a quick single. Cobain decided that he would counter-attack after that, and he planted Nathan Souter into the distance twice in successive deliveries. Jack Taylor also played some big shots in making a run of ball 33. But then Souter exacted his revenge. The hosts were left on 139 for 5 at the start of the 24th over. 13 overs then passed by without a single boundary before Higgins went after his former teammates with some punishing hits. He proved against Gloucestershire at Cheltenham last year how well he can strike a ball. Cobain also lifted his tempo as he needed to do, this pair doing well to add 116 runs for the 6th wicket in 19 overs. 73 runs were required from the last 8, and it was just about game on until Higgins miscued Helm to Stirling to depart for a runner ball 65. Franklin then returned to the attack to remove Van Buren, who was held by Gubbins on 3. And the match was well and truly over when Franklin held on off Helm to get rid of David Payne. Cobain completed his 109-ball 100 next ball, but Gloucestershire were all out in the penultimate over, with Souter bowling George Drizzle and Helm doing the same to Little. Gloucestershire dismissed for 289. That meant a victory by 33 runs, but Middlesex could do no better than finish in 6th place of the South Group. They next take on Australia at Lord's on Saturday.